Just spell Milly right. That's more gets on my nerves.
Oh, yeah.
So when people
Wait,
spell it with
people-
an IE,
people do that.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't work at a diner. What are we doing?
You're like, I've worked too hard on this branding.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, don't even get me started on branding.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Repeater. My name is Evan.
And I'm Pat.
And today we are joined by the incomparable Milly Tamarez.
Yes, no one can understand me. Oh, no, incomprehensible.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah.
That is, though, definitely the way I should introduce people.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Incomprehensible.
The incomparable. No one can be compared to
No,
you.
yeah. You can't compare me to anyone.
Yes.
Or understand me. Got it.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is so cool.
Of course. For anyone new to the show, we are a show where we're talking to people about songs that mean a lot to them. And this season, specifically, we're talking to people about songs that got them through the last year. But before we get to that song, we're just going to all talk about something we've been listening to lately. So, Pat, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So I had been listening to a lot of Phoebe Bridgers and Julian Baker and Lucy Dacus because they have a group called Boy Genius who are delightful. And then, kind of out of nowhere, Phoebe released an album with Connor Oberst called Better Oblivion Community Center, which is a wonderfully grim name, I think. And
it sounds like straight out of like the indie rock scene of like when we were in college.
It's like a really good throwback, and I love it. It's a really great album, so check it out.
It came out, am I correct? It came out on like over the weekend, this past weekend, and it was like a rainy Sunday.
Yeah.
It was kind of a really good day for that album.
It was like a nice gloomy weekend, and they, I think, premiered it on Colbert's show.
Oh.
So, and then played it on CBS Morning News. I don't know. It was like a weird release, and it just made me very happy that it was that bizarre.
Yeah.
Did they like promote it before, or was it like a...
There was like I guess in LA there were like phone numbers put onto benches for bus stops, and if you called it, like, the song is on it's on Spotify called like the Symposium Message, and it's like a weird like kind of scrambled just announcement of it, and that's kind of the only thing that I knew about, or I didn't even know about it, but the only like pre-advertising that I saw about it.
Yeah, I think like since Beyonce, my Lord and Savior, since Beyonce did that like random drop, like for self-titled, I feel like people aren't like really ramping up album releases, and you know, it's just kind of like random now. People are just doing, you know, there's not like months in advance of like my album's dropping on this day or whatever.
It's like people maybe build hype when they know others expect them to have a new album, but they won't be like, here's when it's dropping, here's what the title is. It's like, if anything, somebody will just be like, oh yeah, and here's the album you've kind of we've been alluding to for months. But yeah, you're right. I mean, then no one like really makes a big deal out of album releases until they're just about out.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's like just because so many things can happen, like for an album, like maybe promoting the album release kind of like locks you down, where if you just release it, people aren't expecting, so that if you don't make the deadline.
I think it's like to avoid, because I want to say back when Beyonce did that, I would think part of it too is like avoiding leaks, because once people like know it's out there, they start looking for it, or like, or trying to like get a guy who works at that studio to get the album, like, you know, like just like, but if they don't know there's being music being made, they're not really gonna steal it. Also, music doesn't make anyone any money anymore. So
yeah, well, album
you like
releases,
have to tour. It's
you
like,
have to tour, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's true.
Less precious. I've been listening to this song. The song I'll shout out is this song called "Whipped Cream" by Ari Lennox, who's like an artist I sort of just heard about. I think thanks to a Spotify recommendation. So thanks, Spotify.
Spotify's great.
But she's kind of one of those people that is only released singles up until this point. Like even going back to like 2014, I don't think she's put out an EP or an album, but has kind of like, I don't know, half a dozen or more singles just floating around the internet. And she's great. Whipped Cream is this kind of like really nice, like pulsating, forward-looking but sort of sexy song. It's cool. It's really good. I like her a lot.
Interesting.
Very cool. What was the name of that again?
Ari Lennox.
Cool.
She's cool.
Whipped cream.
Cool. It like sort of sounds. It's funny because in the song it sort of sounds sexy. She's like sitting there. She's like singing sort of a sultry thing of like, I've been eating whipped cream, I've been staring at my screen, but it's sort of like she's actually just I think the song's about maybe dating somebody who got famous and then you're just sad, so you're just like sitting at home kind of like eating while they're living like a killer life. That's what it sort of seems to be like, but it sounds like cool as hell.
Nice.
What have you been listening to lately?
Yeah, Spotify's great. So I have like 2 daily mixes. So up until like last week, or daily mixes are like the algorithm mix. So there's like all these different genres you listen to. So I've been listening to a lot of like snail mail and like girl rock kind of stuff, Mitski adjacent, and this song "FLEXX" by Hazel English is really great. I really like it. Soccer Mommy. But then this week, I don't know, I got into my daily mix too, which is more like Solange, more like poppy, kind of still a little indie, but more poppy stuff. So there's this song that I've been listening to a lot today, which is Say You Do by Taishi. So I don't know. It's just like more, it is that like indie girl, like a indie thing, but it's also like pop too. So it's fun.
That's cool.
It's called Say You Do, and it's just it sounds like a cool like pop love song, but I think it's talking about someone who you're dating that doesn't know you as much as they say they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's fun. I just saw Snail Mail back in like September, I think.
Did you go to the one where with the Always?
Yeah, that's
I
the
wanted
show
to go
to.
so bad.
It was really great.
And I was like so excited to go to buy tickets. The tickets were like $25.
Yeah.
But then when I went to go buy, it was like $150, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $150 for it.
That's
brutal.
Snail mail? Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, no shade, but like,
no.
Yeah.
No. I lucked out. Somebody, like a friend, just had an extra ticket and was like trying to like bring somebody, and I was like, okay, hell yeah.
I was looking for extra tickets. I was like, anybody, please, and no one. Cause they did like 4 nights or something.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 at Warsaw.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
The Always, like I really wanted to see them too.
That's a good show. Next time.
Well, bragging.
You'll have to see him next time.
Yeah, someone tried to unload like Soccer Mommy tickets on me before I only liked like that Still Clean, like that one song that I really liked, and then I was like, I'm kind of busy, whatever. And then I got really into them like after the concert, and I'm like, fuck, I should just went, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
Hard to know. It's hard to know.
These things happen.
Yeah,
I definitely missed a lot by doing that. Specifically, the artists we're about to talk about.
Oh yeah, well there you go. But before we get to that, so we asked you to bring us a song that got you through the last year, and we're gonna give you the listeners at home just a couple tidbits of things that happened within the last year. So Pat, what's one thing that happened in the last year?
One thing that happened in 2018, among everything, was in Hawaii, they had a false alarm with a ballistic missile alert, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Can I read the alert verbatim? It says emergency alert, and this is all in caps. The next part: ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, it was a drill.
It was a drill.
It was like fuck up by like a guy. Like a guy forgot to, just because I wrote a packet. I wrote a packet for some late night show. Yeah. And like the story was this, so I had to read up a lot about it. And it was like a guy who made a mistake, and like no one double checked it, and it was out for like 38 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long time, but that's a long time when you think that you're gonna get hit by a bomb.
Because Twitter did the Twitter thing, and everybody criticized what they thought was like the interface that got used for like selecting that it's not a drill or a drill, whatever. But I guess the way that I ended up hearing what happened was when they got the call to say, we're doing this drill, the call starts with, this is a drill, and whoever picked up the phone did not hear the this is a drill part. So he was like, oh, it's real. I've had bad days at work. I've never had a day that bad, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I had a bad day. Like, I threw something away that I wasn't supposed to. I got, like, ended up getting fired for it, but
damn.
Still, like.
That's a bad day.
Yeah.
But a state didn't hate you. A whole state.
A whole state didn't hate me. But I don't know this guy's name, so maybe people don't know. I don't know. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
He had, like, alcohol problems, too. It sucks, yeah. It just, like, was like, the worst case in every single... Because no one in the ranks checked either. Like,
yeah.
It was, like, a bad... Yeah, it was just, like, bad for everybody.
Well, guy, if you're listening, we're not mad at you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I'm not
people
mad.
People hid in closets.
Yeah.
People did think they were going to die.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk that back a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Take a minute, walk it back.
You hate him. I mean, he doesn't deserve to, like, I don't know.
He's not like he's not a person that we know from that event to have, like, a bad moral compass or anything.
Yeah.
But he certainly, like, should have taken a little more care.
Yeah,
and he definitely fucked up, for sure. You know? Another thing that was maybe, like, maybe a brighter spot that happened last year was the election of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That is where I got to, like, vote for her, which was very cool.
No, I didn't.
In June and then again in November. Pat, did you get to vote for her, or had you already moved out of the...
I was still living in the district.
Hell yeah.
So I got to vote for her, and then I moved.
I voted for, well, in the same camp, Julia Salazar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won. That's awesome.
Yeah.
In June, I have a satire magazine called FLEXX, and it's like satire, like, you know, for people of color, not for people of color, but by people of color, and like that kind of, where Reductress does like women stuff, we do like people of color. So one of the articles that like we all worked on, but this one girl wrote was I love Alexandria Ocasio's fine ass ... policies. And it's just like, you know, it's like a fake op-ed from this guy who's like, she's so hot when she's talking about comment. You know, it's just like that kind of joke. We get so many, that like, we'll get like 20,000 clicks in them. And I'm like, where the fuck? And it's all that because when you type in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ass, we're the first, we're the first result when you type it in. So, and then we get like some hate mail for that thing. There's this one guy from fucking like California was like, you are destroying. I have screenshots of the like mail. He's just like a professor in California, and it's like, you don't even fucking live in New York. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he's just like, fire Jordan Perez, because that's like the alias of the fake op-ed. And it's like, we're saying we should start a campaign like, we stand with Jordan Perez. This is so fucking stupid. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my
God.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Well, she's very kind of like hot button politician now because she's new. She's like, you know, not holding it, like pulling any punches or anything like that.
Yeah.
So people fucking go after her and anyone associated with her at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just loved it because I don't know if Pat had this similar experience, but I was like home the next week and after a congressional primary in New York City, and had like my family being like, oh yeah, didn't like some political thing just happen in New York, like you guys, somebody won a primary, and I was like, yeah, that was mine. Like I voted in that. It's like the first time I voted where like the votes totaled less than like 15,000 people, and you're like, oh, my vote mattered. Like other people heard about this, we got this person, or we're getting this person at least into like the running, you know, to take office, and it was just like, so it felt legitimately cool to vote and have it matter.
Yeah.
And like a young person who's like doesn't care about I don't know, it's like not centrist at all and is not making any compromises.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see,
Yeah. There was also the night of that election, there's a video of her realizing that she's won.
Yeah.
And it's like the most adorable thing.
Yeah. So cute. So cute.
So yeah, AOC, thanks for 2018 highlight.
Yeah.
But Millie, what's the song that you wanted to talk about today?
Yes.
Song that got you through the last year.
The song that got me through last year is I Don't Smoke by Mitski.
Great. We're gonna listen to a short clip of it right now. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like the breakdown.
Yeah.
I like that downturn in the guitars.
Yeah. The whole song rules, and this part is great.
Yeah. It's like the end of it, but it's just like so good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. All right, that gives everybody a taste. They're gonna have to go listen to it to get that full song.
Should listen to every Mitski.
Yeah.
Everything.
Absolutely. So Pat and I are just gonna give our first impressions, and you're gonna tell us why the song.
Why your impressions are wrong? Great.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope my impression's not wrong.
No, it's gonna be wrong.
Yeah, I had only heard a couple of Mitski songs before this, and I will say I was very surprised by like the really fuzzy and like heavy guitars at the beginning, and I was like, just thinking about who I know that likes Mitski, I was like, oh, that's why you like her. Like this is where this is coming from, and I think it's a really interesting combination of like gorgeous vocals, cool drum machine, and then just like that loud sludgy guitar. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wish I had a super different take than Pat, but truth is, like, similarly, I only knew a lot of people were telling me about Mitski in the last year, and so I had listened to her most recent album a few times, but like still, if you were just to be like, hey Evan, what does Mitski sound like, I don't think I had a good like description for you. And so this was just overall like a lot sludgier than I expected, musically. But then I was also like, oh, okay, this is a sludgy song that's very sad. Like, and it's just the tone of it matches that kind of thing of like the song, which I think is, more or less about loving somebody who's fucking horrible for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, we're getting through the song while she's getting through this relationship or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. It was cool.
Yeah, I think like Mitski reminds me a lot of Rilo Kiley and Jenny Lewis, and I haven't heard her latest album that came out like last week, but Rilo Kiley had such a like a little harder sound, and like had this whole like thing and an arc, and then the later albums were a lot more polished, and then Jenny Lewis's stuff is like her independent stuff is like still a lot more refined and stuff, but then that she's coming from these roots, so like you can appreciate that more in the context. But probably like just off the bat by itself, I'm like, I don't know if I would listen to I don't know. So that's kind of how I feel about Mitski with her older stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is just so hard and cool and like different. And then her new stuff now like sounds different, and I still really like it, but it's also, I like it in context of her previous work of like, oh, this is what, this is like where you are right now, and like I can appreciate this, and you have like more money to spend, and you have more resources, and like you're really building out everything, and I think this last album too, it's hard to have like a sound, because I think something that she deals with as like a woman, and especially like as an Asian woman, is like people don't see her as much as like an artistic songwriter as they would like somebody else, where they're like, oh, it's so great, it's like reading her diary when you listen to her, and instead of like saying like, oh, this is like she wrote this is an artwork that she created. So with this last album, she says, in interviews, that she really tried to challenge herself to like write different stories about people, so that they don't still think that this is all just an extension of her, which I thought was cool and interesting. But then, it makes it hard for you. Like, what does Mitski sound like? Yeah. But specifically this song, I love this song. It's
So what was the kind of the context of bringing it to the show for this episode?
Well, I listen to Spotify a lot. I pay for premium, and
good on you. Good on you.
Yeah, I pay for premium. So I'm listening, during work, everything. I'm like commuting. I'm always listening. And then I got like the report, of like what the songs you listen to. Yeah. How many hours you listen to Spotify. I listen to Spotify a lot, is all I'm saying. And then this was the top song that I listened to.
Oh wow.
Nice. Of last year, and I was like, damn. I was sad. Damn. You didn't pull it together, really. But yeah, I think, this song's not new. It's like pretty like
2014, right?
So I mean, you want me to give you the context of the everything? Yeah. So I watched Hearts Beat Loud.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like with Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
It's totally like, it's like a movie. It's really sweet and good, but it's totally like Brooklyn indie rock. Like it's just so like in your face about it. And I feel like they knew that it would be completely intolerable if they didn't have like, because Nick Offerman's daughter in it is black. Okay. And like half black, and then she's also a lesbian. And then her girlfriend's also half black. And I'm like, if they didn't add this into this, it would be hard to watch because it's just so like, roll your eyes. Like even when they're doing karaoke, they're doing like what's that song? Chairlift. My eyes for you. Like it's just so. And Nick Offerman owns like a record store. Anyway,
is he like a middle-aged dude trying to get his groove back, sort of thing? What's the synopsis?
Well, basically the synopsis is that he owns a record store in Red Hook, and his daughter is like a senior in high school, and she's prepping to go to college like in California, and he doesn't want her to go, and then because he's a single dad, and he has this record store, and the record store is like, like gentrification. He's like not hitting rent. Because no one wants a record store anymore in Brooklyn.
Nope. Records are dead.
Yeah, so one day he starts like, him and his daughters like start making music together, and they make this band, and it like kind of picks up. So it's like about making music, and it's just like about like, really the whole theme is like moving on and like taking risks and stuff like that. Okay. And like him dealing like how to let go with his daughter growing up. And the daughter is like growing up or whatever.
Got it.
So
you're watching this movie, or you watched this movie?
Okay. So I was dating someone, and he was really nice. I really liked him a lot. I don't know. He still lived with his ex. Like they still lived together, and I thought like when we started dating, I thought like, that. Okay, they live together, but like he's on his way out. He's ready for something new. And, just like the longer we were together, I was like, oh, you're not really like making moves to like leave this situation. You kind of want to have your cake and eat it too. You're not, this is not a good time for this, which is something, new that I started doing last year with people I date is like, oh, this isn't working. Yeah, this should I'm gonna end this, which is something I didn't do before. So we like when we were dating, we're talking about seeing this movie together, and then the timing just didn't work out. So when I watched this movie, like a week or two after we broke up, and then in the storyline, right, like the daughter is like a lesbian, and she has to break up because they're gonna move like. She's going to move across country. Yeah. So she writes this song about like how she's right for somebody in the wrong time of the life. And I was like, oh my God. And then they feature Mitski in the song. In the movie. They feature a lot of Mitski. They feature a lot of indie, but they really played Your Best American Girl. And I also resonated with that song because, it's just talking about like, I think like, I'm just going to assume that the guy that Mitski is dating and that is like white. And it's just like, I can't fit in your standards of like what it means to be an American girl. I'm going to be like the best. And your mom wouldn't approve of how I'm being raised and stuff. I don't know. So I really resonate. And then I started going into Mitski's catalog, and then I found this song, and I was like, oh yeah, like this is it, fuck me up, Mitski. But yeah, it's like that idea of like, supporting someone who's hurting you. And like, I don't smoke except when I'm with you.
Right.
And
That's such a good, that's such like a awesome analogy to kind of draw of that.
What?
Just that I don't smoke except when I'm with you. Just like that thing of like, I'm normally pretty healthy. But in this relationship, it's like, well, I don't know what it is about you, but you fuck me up.
Yeah.
See, When that movie came out, somebody told me that they thought I would really like it because they thought I could relate to the Nick Offerman character, and I was like, I'm not a dad. I don't have kids, and I do not own a record store.
But you look like
I do. I do look like I should own a record store.
Are you really stubborn?
Oh, very, very.
Yeah,
very,
so it's probably that, like, you know.
Okay.
He's very stubborn and like
Right.
prideful. Maybe like that, like not the actual surface level stuff.
This feels like a horoscope reading now.
Yeah.
But what I can relate to is the level that this song hits, especially in that kind of context where it is so like sludgy. I think is a really good word for that, because sometimes sad songs are like the best way to get through something.
Yeah. And then, you know, after this guy, I dated other people. And, you know, I just would always come back to the song. Not because it's like, man, this guy sucks. But I don't feel like I don't feel the same feeling where, like, this guy sucks, but I care about him so much that I'm just going to let him. Like, you know, in the way that in the song, it's like, you can lean on me as you break my heart. Like, I felt that with some other people, but like with I'm like, oh, it's not matching this song. Like, this is not worth it, you know? As I kept listening to it, and it's like, yeah, this, like, you know, I guess like the whole point of love and dating or whatever is that you want to find someone who, like, you'll support as they break you, but won't, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Like, they won't take that, you know, they won't take your time for granted or, like, you know, abuse your, I mean, obviously not abuse, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, won't make you put up with shit, but you will put up with shit because you care about them so much, but they won't because they love you.
It's a tough balance.
Yeah. So...
It's like you're trying to ride that wave, you know, and you're like, oh, is this thing going to destroy me, or is this the most fun I've ever had kind of thing? And it gets tricky. Yeah. Some people are probably, you know, you go through parts of your life where, like, you're prone to doing that more, of like doing the thing of supporting somebody who hurts you. I don't know if, like, either of you have been, like, have that as a pattern, but it's like, man, I think I'm more like 50-50, like bought back and forth between those types of things. But when you're in it, you're just like, fuck me, because I know I'm in it.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of agreeing, I guess, with myself to do it anyways, even though I've lived enough years and dated enough people to, like, know better at this point. Yeah,
that's true. I think I'm very much like, I'll put up, and then, like, one day I snap, and then like, with a lot of people, not just like people I date, but like people I'm friends with, or like I work on projects with, and they fucking suck. Like, they're not showing up there, and I, like, condition them to do that shit, and then one day something snaps in me, and I'm like, no, and then I just never want to see them again, which, like, is not good either, you know, because you should communicate and all this stuff, but. Yeah, so then these people are just so caught off guard, like, and I'm like, no, sorry, you gotta go, like, bye. Definitely, it's like that. I mean,
that's good that you can at least do that, because I feel like I let people get away with stuff, and then I just, like, fade to that point. Like, when I hit my breaking point, I'm like, I've hit my wall. I'll give you 2 more weeks. It's like kind of like that, you know. Yeah,
there's stuff that, you know, like that, you know. Yeah, it's just a new thing that I've been trying.
That's good.
With dating, where, like, I just used to really put up, and then, like, texting and you know, as I get deeper, you know, texting, like, I can text me back. As I get deeper in comedy, and, like, the deeper, you know, the older I've been getting, like, the deeper I've been getting with comedy, the more it's taking up my time. And then I still have a day job, and my day job's getting more demanding, and I'm doing more challenging shows, and I'm getting more things. Like, I hate to be like, I don't have time, but, like, I really, like, my time is just so much more valuable to me. I don't really, like, you know, any extracurricular time that I have, like, should be spent, like, with someone who makes me happy, or, like, that I enjoy being around, or makes me feel good about myself. And, so I just really, I also hate getting ghosted, you know. I hate, like, vague things. So, this past, like, a few times, like, I've been, you know, hey, I'll send a text, like, hey, this isn't going to work anymore. I don't think we should see each other. And that's really hard. But yeah, it's been really hard because I'm, it's a different algorithm. It's a different formula that I'm working from. And then most times they're like, but wait. And then they come back. I'm like, I'm not used to this part. Like, I'm used to like this being over and that's it. But like, they'll usually always come back and be like, and I'm like, what?
Weird.
Yeah. Crazy.
I guess you have to point it out to them to, I guess, realize what they're
I know, but then by then I'm like, I've snapped. So I'm like,
they fucking wasted your time,
Yeah. There's some I'm like, damn. But I'm like, damn. If we like met at a club, I would again, but not like this. There's definitely, but not,
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like this song is a good barometer for your life, especially if that's the way you're trying to be, at least in the past year. Like, maybe that's why it's up at the top of your Spotify.
Yeah.
Like to just have it and just check in on relationships and be like, does it pass the Mitski test?
Yeah, it's a good reminder,
Yeah, no. And I think another thing with this song is I saw like there's this YouTube video of her. It's not KEXP. It's another like kind of live recording stuff. Yeah. She does this song and Class of 2013 like together, like a medley or whatever. And, she's playing guitar. Yeah, because like the Mitski now is like, she's at the top of her game. She's like really well known. She got all, her last album was like best album of the year on all these like Pitchfork lists and stuff. But, then again, a few years ago, she has acne. She's playing guitar. It's like so different. And then she does this, song Class of 2013 where it's like to her mom. And it's basically how she like graduated in the recession and like has no way to pay like for it. She has like all this debt and she doesn't know how like to acclimate into like that pain of like graduating and it's just like, can I just stay here another night, Mom? Can you give me a bath? Like just like this whole, so like both of those songs together, like, so we used to watch the YouTube video and by the end she's just like with the guitar, like not even like caring about the notes that she's, and it's just like, man, it's like that pain of both of like this dating thing and then like how do you, it's like coming of age or whatever, but there's not really like, how to be an adult, which is, I guess what this last year was for me is like adulting for sure. It's like, I hate even saying that, but it's like, there just comes a certain point where, being with people, doing something, is good for the short term, but not good for the long term. So you end up like cutting off the short term, like enjoyment for this long term thing that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these guys, like, I could have kept dating them, but, it was not going to be good for me long term. So it's just, but it fucking sucks now. But like, that's part of being an adult. And like, no one really tells you that. And it's like part of discovering that is like too.
Yeah. I think the way it's presented to us in like music and pop culture sometimes is sort of like in these little, almost like sound bites or quips about like, if that person's not doing right by you, you get out of there. Like, or it's just these things that are very like, they could go on a poster really well, but they're not nuanced enough to really be like, okay, here's the kind of situation in which you might find yourself where like it feels good now, but it won't be good later. And here's some things that might, like some signposts to it that might help you recognize what that is. It's like, we're kind of told that we need to do that, but no one ever puts enough nuance around it to really make it recognizable.
Yeah. So it just comes from experience.
Yeah.
It just comes from you like experiencing it. And then you're like, oh, I know this. Like, oh, I know this. Oh God. Like, I know already how this is going to go. And you don't want to like imprint shit or projection on people, but it's at the same time, you have to be smart. And yeah, you're like, I already know how this is going to be. You're going to act like this, and then I'm going to be sad, and then, you're going to come back in 2 weeks, and then this and that, and it's always going to be, and this is going to go on for a year, and I know this, so I'm going to bow out now. But even, too, it's not even just about dating. It's about everything.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be like, social media with the highlights, but yeah, like even when someone loses a ton of weight, you just see like the beginning and the end, or like the weight loss journey, like picture, but you don't see like how many times this person probably tried to give up, or how hard it was, or like that they fucking had to eat boiled chicken and rice every day for like 2 years or some crazy shit. Just to get there. So
you don't get their internal dialogue of like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And how many times they said that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just also, and then, there's just, and then even like with other friends too. I have so many friends who are like, yeah, cut this guy off, and it's just like, you've been in the same like shitty fucking situation for like 2 years. Like, and we can't even talk about it because you get upset.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me, like you're telling me to like cut this guy off, but like you like people don't. It's so much easier to see it in other people, but for yourself.
Yeah.
But that's part of being an adult that like people don't.
Well, and when you get advice like that,
you don't listen.
You either don't listen, and it's always easier said than done.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what was your biggest setback of the last year?
Whew. I've had a lot. I think it was, let me see. I had like really like bad like breakups one after the other, like really like little small breakups, and like a lot of disappointment from these guys. And I did sign like a development deal last year, and it kind of fell through. Like I got like an advance, and that was really nice, but then like
that's frustrating.
It didn't. So like that was hard, and like realizing that it wasn't gonna go anywhere was hard. There's just so many times where like I feel like I've been sacrificed, which is also why Mitski's great. Like, like you've sacrificed so much, for, sacrificing a lot for comedy. And, there's sometimes, there's great moments, and then there's like really dark moments where, everyone around you gets this thing that you want, or you're not like everything, fucking falls through. And there's just a point, I was just like, fuck, and then when you talk to other people, like taking you out, that's not true, but like there's a moment, I like spiraled when like there's a job I really wanted and I didn't get, and I didn't even get an interview for it. And, I'm just like, what am I doing this for? Like, I have nothing. Like, I am not, I'm not like at this crazy marketing job where I can be making like 6 figures because I don't have time for that responsibility because I want to do comedy. I am not like married because I don't want to put that into put that time into a relationship right now. I don't have kids because like all this, because of comedy, and like, what am I getting out of it? So like that kind of feeling sometimes of like, what's the fucking point? But that again was an amalgamation of a lot of setbacks, and that all happened like in December, November. So like, but it was like a year of really tough shit,
Yeah. Well, happened. What was a big positive in the last year?
I got a development deal.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
You got to celebrate
I got
that.
Something. Yeah. No, I did. I had some really cool meetings. Worked with, every year it's just like getting big in terms of like comedy and stuff. I got to take a vacation, which is, I got to take a vacation that was just like what I wanted to do for me by myself, which is so rare. And it was really hard for me because I'm so like want to do with everyone, or I don't want to do this by myself,
Yeah.
But I was just so stressed out and burnt out at a certain point. And all of my fucking vacations were someone else's birthday or a wedding or this or that. It's not really like, what does Milly want to do So I went to like a surf camp for a week.
Whoa, that's awesome.
I know, I fucking suck at surfing, but it was great. Yeah, and like, you know, I worked out a lot. I got class pass.
Oh, nice.
So I like did 50 classes, which is great.
That's
like,
awesome.
You know, yoga and cycling and all that shit. And yeah, like I had some pretty big, you know, pretty good meetings in LA. So yeah, like it is like you know, the same, like the side of the same coin where I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Like I know, like on the positive side that, you know, it is like an upward climb too, you know, of I am getting like better opportunities, and even like my day job stuff I'm getting more money. I got like a really good job that like I can work remotely, which is great. That's for huge. Comedy stuff. So yeah, like in a lot of ways I had a really great year too. So
that's great to hear.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing all that with us and sharing this song with us. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't have to go to therapy this week. No, I do.
We all do.
Yes, I am not a therapist, so.
Oh wow.
I know I told you that.
You look
before,
like you could relate to one though.
Man,
I could.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
Milly, where can people kind of keep up to date with what's going on with you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at lactose intolerant.
Hell yeah.
That's such a good name.
Yeah, it's great. It used to be spaghetti and meatballs, but I think lactose intolerant is pretty great. But no, it's at Milly Tamarez on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram. Milly on fire, but instead of an F, it's a 4. And yeah.
How can people find out about FLEXX?
FLEXX, you can go on FLEXX at FLEXX.
Cool.
On Twitter, or look up FLEXX Mag on Google and it'll pop up.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm like, you're going to ask me something. You like leaned in and you're like,
I did.
Cool.
Yeah, everyone should definitely do all those things. You know, with the 2018 you had, I can only expect bigger and better things for 2019.
I fucking hope so. This is going to be my year. I said it. I put it out to the universe.
It's going to happen.
I'm putting a lot out to the universe this year because when you put shit out to the universe, it comes back. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. If anyone wants to follow along with our show, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Repeater Show. We also have a website, repeater.show. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Check out the episodes. Subscribe to this podcast.
You must.
You must.
It's legally required.
It is legally required. I wish that was true, because then I bet a lot more people would be subscribed.
Don't be like you two and like upload.
Oh yeah, we can't do that. That would truly be wrong. But
if we were you two, I think Evan might be the edge.
What? I think the edge, as annoying and weird as he is, I think he doesn't have enough ego. I think I'm like too annoying to be.
Are you more like a Bono?
I like wish to hell I wasn't, but I probably am more like a Bono.
Yeah. I have a lot of guitar pedals, so I'm
I think you're a little more edgy.
Ooh.
Edge-like.
Oh.
How do you say edgy without it?
You like to edge. Great.
Yeah.
You edge. You're the edgelord. Great. So.
The edgelord.
Oh man. Edging is your kink. Great.
Yeah. And what? And what's up?
No. I'm just like your friend loves edging.
Yeah.
Great.
We're and here's the thing, if you go and you rate and you review, if you leave a 5-star rating, we're gonna read it on the show. So that's gonna be something very exciting. Pat, why don't you read today's review from friend of the show,
Costa Bizzle,
Matt
Costable. He played a Jawbreaker cover for us once, and it was great. Matt's review says, "I heard these boys like animals!" ! Isn't that nice?
You know,
wow, what a wholesome. I would say like these guys suck, but then leave 5 stars.
Yeah,
I won't review. I'm sorry.
Loophole.
Because then I'll do something like that and make you read it on here. God, there's this like thing. This is so fucked up, but there's like this thing that you can call where the TTY machines for deaf people. You can call into a line and like have these people call, and these people will transcribe anything you say to them to feed to a TTY machine.
Yeah.
So my friends would call and be like, can you tell this TTY number my ass is in my dick or something stupid? And the person would have to
my ass is
repeat it back.
That's so
fucked up.
That reminds me of the time I saw Dane Cook, and there was
yeah.
a sign language interpreter, and he spent, I would say, half of that show just saying dick to get the interpreter to do it, and it was sad.
The king of comedy.
Well, I don't know. You also paid money to see Dane Cook. That's pretty fucking sad.
That is on me.
Too.
That is on me.
Oh man, I mean,
it
I
was
don't know
like
what
2004.
You were
so
okay, fine.
Okay.
Before
Bush
I knew
was
any
still
better.
president. It's fine.
Bush was still president. Yeah.
Y'all were, there was no laws back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we address the rumors though from that review, which is, do we like animals?
I do. I have a cat.
Okay.
So
got a cat.
I like at least one animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not plural.
Right.
Evan, I feel like you have something on your chest you have to get off.
I like animals a lot.
Oh wow.
That's all I want to say. Millie, how do you feel about animals?
Isn't that nice?
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, I love animals in theory. I didn't think I would be an animal person, and then I went to LA, and my friend that I stayed with had like a new puppy, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get the animal thing. I get the dog thing. I didn't get it before. I don't think I would still get a dog by myself, but
no.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I would not assume the responsibility, but
by
I
myself.
love other people having them.
Well, I feel like, if I was dating someone and, we lived together and they like did everything for the dog, I would let the dog be in the house.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. So I'm generous like that.
Very generous.
I'm just never going to pick up shit. No, it is like baby light. My friend has a bunny. My best friend has a bunny. And I'm with that bunny a lot. She's kind of a cunt, but the bunny. But,
Watch out, bunnies. Yeah. Millie's onto you.
I can't trust. Did you see the trailer for Us?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, the bunnies.
Holy
I don't know
shit.
what the fuck's happening, but
oh my god,
that shit is scary. I don't trust them.
Yeah,
I was scared of the Bunnicula cover.
Ooh, I love Bunnicula.
That's a good story, but those red eyes are terrifying.
Yeah, it is scary. That's mean.
Oh man. Well, everybody out there in the wide world of listening, thanks for listening to us. Millie, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
This was wonderful.
Yes. My policy with podcasts is if someone tells me they listen to me on a podcast, I assume they want to fuck me because there's no reason why. And so it's like, I heard you on this podcast. I'm like, all right, you want to smash.
Yeah, and now they know that it's like, now you got to listen to the end of the show because that's where you get the real intel.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's how they listen to the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah, that's it for the show. Thanks, everybody. Until next time.
Hit repeat.
Oh, yeah.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, hell yeah, we did it.
Repeater is hosted by Evan Ford Barden and Patrick Cartelli. This episode was recorded at Magnet Training Center in New York City, where they offer classes in improv, musical improv, sketch writing, storytelling, and more. Find out more at magnettheater.com. Visit us online at repeater.show for live dates, hot music tips, and show archives. Theme music by the Sun Lions. Everything else by Love Nest Productions. Welcome to Repeater.
I'm gonna go home and watch Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
It's a Rumble night, baby.
Rumble night. I forgot about that.